Hey, this is Daoud Miracle from dmiracle.com, and I'm going to just give a really brief overview of how to easily use Google Fonts to find fonts for your website. So, there's lots of ways you can get to the Google Fonts website. Um, what I always tell my clients to do is just start by searching for Google Fonts in Google. The first option will come up, you just simply click on it. And now when we get to this screen, you're going to see there's lots of fonts. I mean, as of this recording today, and this changes all the time, there's 625 different fonts to choose from. You see, we scroll down the screen, they just keep on coming. So there's a couple things you can do to make this easier on yourself. And again, I'm just going to show a couple of quick things here. First is categories. If you know that you don't want to use a serif font, for instance, that'll make fewer fonts for you to go through. If you know that you want a scripted font or something like that, you might want to uncheck a few of these, and you come down to fewer fonts to look at. Okay. I'm going to leave all of them on just for the sake of right now. There's other ways you can search. You can search for the thickness of the font. You can search for whether the font's italicized, how wide the font is. All of these things. These are different categories, but they're different options as far as what the fonts look like. What I want to show briefly is how you can decide whether the font's right for your needs, and then how to start comparing fonts. And that's going to be the end of this video. So the first thing I tell my clients to do is go here in this preview text. Make sure first that you're in sentence. This preview text turn into the text that you want to see. So for instance, if you're looking for the text in a header for your website, you might want to put in, now of course you'd put in your name. If your website's name is, life coaching for moms, you'd probably want to type in life coaching for moms here. But that way you get to see what each of the fonts is going to look like for your needs. So as you scroll down through the fonts, you can see, oh, well, I really like this font maybe in my header. Or maybe I really like this font in my header, because you see what it actually looks like with your text. Once you find a font that you like, simply click this Add to Collection option. Add to Collection, and you'll see what happens down here at the bottom is this little big gray area shows up, and the one font that you chose is down there. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to select a couple here. You see, as I select them, they keep getting added here to the bottom. So 4 is good enough. Once I've gone through the 600 and some, at this point, 600 and some fonts and made my choice into which collections I want to look at, I come down here to this gray area and I select Review. And what Review is going to do is it's going to give me my fonts so that I can compare them. So I'm looking here, and in this case I have 4. You could have 24. It doesn't really matter. As you saw when I first came in here, if you're seeing paragraph text, just come up here and change this to headline, and it'll make it the headline text. Again, you can scroll down, see what different font sizes look like. Same thing with all of these. Once you decide there's a font you don't want, like I don't really want this one, just select the little X that goes with this box, and this font goes away. You'll see that it got removed from your collection down here, and now we have these 3 to compare. Once you know the font that you want to use, really in this case, there's things you can do with if you're a coder and stuff, but the biggest thing is just take the font name, which is up here. This is Average Sans, this is Nato Sans, and let your web designer know that this is the font I want to use for my header, or this is the font I want to use for the headlines on my website, or this is the font I'd like to use for my paragraph text. Just let your designer know those names, and that's it. It's really that simple. Again, there's a lot more that you can do with Google Fonts, but this is really meant for my clients and beginners who want to delve into doing different fonts on their website without having to have any kind of knowledge of technical stuff or coding or any of that stuff. This is assuming that somebody else is going to code these fonts in for them. So this is how you use it. Again, you'd get down to your last font. Let's say we're not going to do this one. And you would just email to your web designer, or to me if I'm doing your website, hey Daoud, make my header Average Sans. And then I would know what to do with that. So that's all there is to it. So hope that's helpful, and you can always check me out at dmiracle.com, dmiracle.com. This is Daoud. Thanks.